What's up, everybody? It's your guy, William Fry. So, this is the fourth video in the series, and this is geared more towards the people that I call it driving dirty, but the people that have something else going on where they, they're just not completely legal as far as driving goes. What's that mean? It means, maybe you don't have a driver's license. It's suspended. You just don't have it. You never got one. Something like, whatever that situation may be. Maybe your insurance is lapsed. You don't have insurance right now. Maybe your registration is out. But this is the process for that. Now, one, keep in mind that cops are people. And, a good portion of them are reasonable people. And just because you get stopped or caught and you're driving dirty doesn't mean they're going to take you to jail. Hopefully they, just for that in particular, hopefully they don't. But, there's a good chance that you can go through the whole kit and caboodle if you're driving dirty, whether it's no insurance, no license, or any of that type of stuff. There's a good chance that you're going to run the whole gauntlet of everything that they can do. But that doesn't mean you're going to jail, unless you got warrants or something like that. Or if you're a butthole, from there, they've got reasonable cause because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. That doesn't mean that you need to get shot, though. Doesn't mean that you should die because your insurance is lapsed or your registration is expired. Excuse me. Or if your driver's license is expired or something like that, that's not an instant death type of offense. That's hey, life goes on and I don't have what you require as far as the law goes, but I still got rent, I still got bills, I still got children, whatever it is. I still got a life to take care of. Outside of that, I just haven't got a chance to get to that yet. So, my opinion is the initial process is the same. You're still going to pull off to the right when safe. You're going to minimize the chances of pissing this guy off or this woman off that's pulling you over, knowing that you're going into it in the wrong already. You want to minimize the ammunition that you give them to mess with you. Don't sit there and run, don't do all that. Once again, signal, pull off to the right, park somewhere safe, preferably that's visible, as soon as possible. I'll tell you a quick story. This was, I don't know, easily 10, maybe years ago, maybe a little bit longer, a little bit less. But I was driving from California to Vegas. Was cruising on the 15. Cruising up there, and there's a big, long, it's desert area. It's desert. So I'm cruising. Just before you get to the little hills, going into Vegas before you hit the state line, those last little bit of hills just before you get in there, there's a bridge. I think it's before Isaacs or however you say that street. But there's a bridge right there. It goes there's a little curve. I was behind somebody that was going, in my opinion, they were going slow. They were probably doing 90, 95. And to me, that's relatively slow. So I'm cruising, and I had to go around this guy. So, of course, I go around this guy. He's in the left lane. So, of course, I got to come out of the left lane. I go around him, and he's doing 90, 95. So, of course, I punch it up, get back up to 111 this guy clocked me at. And I'm usually hyper aware of CHP, of cops in general, but especially CHP, because they'll just sit there, just, in just the craziest places. Well, this dude was sitting at just around a curve, just past that street, that road, that off-ramp. And of course, I'm cruising. I just passed this guy up. I got in the second lane from the left, popped it up. He clocks me at 111. I see him as I'm passing by, and I'm like, oh, crap. I mean, and what could I do? I knew he clocked me. I knew it right then and there. So I see the car start to move, and I'm like, oh, crap. What did I do? He didn't even get behind me. And all right, he hadn't even pulled off the freeway. Signal to the right. I mean, he caught me. What am I going to do? Signal off to the right. Pull off pretty quick. Slow down. Get off to the right. Put him in the shade because, of course, it's right before the hills. So I put him in the shade. And, of course, myself, because, it's hot in the middle of the day. So he could park in the shade. I park in the shade. And, put the car in park, turn it off, windows down, did the whole song and dance. At the time, I ain't had no insurance. It had lapsed. Well, I'll admit it. I drove dirty for a little while. For one reason or another. I can't even remember. This was a while back. I'm all legal now, though. Don't get it twisted. But anyways, so he flies out. Because once again, as soon as I saw him move from that spot, I pulled off to I know he's coming after me. Because there's literally only 3 cars there. One of them I just passed up. He was going fast, but I was going faster. So I pulled over right then and there. Before this guy had got all the way onto the freeway, I was already pulling off to the right. So I pulled off to the right, put it in park, put my windows down, got my registration out, got my driver's license out. And so he walks up to the window, and it was actually the day before Halloween, because I was going to see the grandkids and spend take them trick or treating and that stuff. But anyways, so he comes up, of course the windows are down. He comes to my passenger window, and it was just me in the car. And first thing out of his mouth, because he saw my driver's license registration on the windshield, and he's like, oh, see, you got it right there. And so, I gave it to him. And he goes, Mr. Fry. I said, yeah, I know. That's why I pulled over. What could I say? He caught me. He said, yeah, I clocked you at 111. Where are you headed to? Yeah, Vegas. Spend some time with the grandkids. It's like, oh, okay. Well, he gives me back my license, registration. He goes, I appreciate you pulling over and not making me chase you 10 miles up the road. So I appreciate you pulling over. I appreciate you getting off all the way off to the side of the road. You don't need a lecture about speed. Because, once again, I'm in that point. I was in my 40s, somewhere in my 40s. I don't really remember. But with the whole song and dance, you don't need a lecture about speeding and arriving safe and all that stuff. I do appreciate you pulling over as soon as you pass me up. And, I just let him know. I mean, what can I do? I looked over, and by the time I saw you, I had already seen the little dang radar gun go down. I was like, well, shit. I mean, I'm going to have to bleep that out. I don't curse as a general rule on a normal basis. So, so I'm going to bleep that out because it's really not what I generally do. But he said he gave me back my paperwork, said drive safe, said thank you, and he went back to his car. Definitely could have taken my car at that point because I was going, that's probably 40 miles per hour over the speed limit at that point because it's only 70. So, I mean, there's certain things that you can do to minimize the chances of having a negative interaction, especially if you're driving dirty. If you're driving dirty, no license, you don't have a license. You don't have a license. Hopefully you don't have a warrant at the same time, but no license is no license. Okay, well, you got somebody to come get the car, call them to come get the car, and, you know, be done with it. Get a, you know, ticket or a warning or whatever it might be, and, you know, keep on going. You know, it's really up to him whether or not to, you know, what to do with that particular situation. Same thing with insurance or registration. You know, it's, you know, generally it's going to be a ticket. And if you're, once again, all this stuff is if you don't have warrants, because if you have that and, you know, you get somebody that runs you, then, you know, it's really up in the air as far as what happens from there. So, got warrants, there's a decent chance you might get taken in. There's a decent chance you might not. Depends on who you're dealing with, really. But this video is for people that have, you know, just driving dirty for whatever reason, don't have a bunch of warrants, or, you know, might just have a suspended license for one reason or the other. May have just missed an insurance payment, might have not been able to make the insurance payment, or, you know, whatever it is. You know, it's for one reason or another, they're driving dirty. They had to have their stuff. They had to get on the road. I don't recommend it at this age or this period, especially since, once again, I was hit by a drunk driver last year, head on, by a guy with no insurance. And it's not a good experience. Yeah. So, that will minimize the chances of that experience going negative. Just normal stuff. Hey, I mean, I don't have my license because, you know, whatever it might be, I gotta, you know, I'm assuming if you didn't pay a ticket, you probably got a warrant or something like that. But, you know, maybe you changed jobs and the child support office hasn't received the payments or something like that, and they suspended your license, and they don't have the right address or something, so you haven't been notified, or, you know, something like that. You know, there's chances are, whatever it is, as long as it sounds reasonable, if you're dealing with a reasonable cop, it's going to take it into account. And, you know, you might give you a ticket for driving without a license, tell you to call somebody to come pick up the car, and, you know, be done with it, you know. So that is it for this video. I can see my phone is running out of memory. I've got about, looks like 27 minutes worth of videos left. So I'm going to call that even for today till I get back to the house and download this off the phone so I can make some more videos. Have a good day.